For ACUsports.com, I'm Grant Boone, talking some golf here with men's golf coach Tom Shaw. Catching up with you after a couple of events. You're putting that Georgia Tech education to good use, I can tell. Brutally hot here in Abilene, so you take your team to Colorado for a couple of events. You played at the Air Force event, and then you played at Colorado State here. Some really encouraging signs, I thought, as we were following those tournaments. Give us just a quick recap of what you saw.
Yeah, it was a great 2 weeks in Colorado. I mean, we could easily play a regional, local schedule and play against opponents that aren't that good and kind of pad our record. But taking a page out of Coach Bonneau and Coach Bibler, we're going to go and play in events that test us, that challenge us, play against opponents that are probably better than we are right now, all in to prepare us for when we're eligible for postseason play, play on courses that are unfamiliar, to make us better. These two tournaments are going to help us down the road. So it's an investment that we need to make right now.
So you're not looking necessarily at where you finish among the 15 teams who compete and using that as the only barometer of success, right?
No, that's more of a short-term outcome. It's important, yeah. But I'm looking down the road. How are these guys going to get better? They need to play in unfamiliar circumstances against opponents that they've not seen before. That's all about being excellent. If we just want to be the same old, we'll just stay close to Abilene and play courses that suit our games. But we need to expose ourselves to things that are unique, challenging, in order to become better golfers.
We wondered who would take the mantle from Corbin Renner, who himself had taken it from Alex Carpenter. And, of course, you keep going back, the great players through the years. I'm wondering if Dylan Vaughn may be that guy. He had a 17th place finish at the Air Force event, had an 11th place finish, the best among your team at the event at Fort Collins. We're seeing him with a steadiness that I think you'd love to see all the other guys emulate, wouldn't you?
Well, Dylan is a very steady player. That's a good word. And I think his inner belief right now is that he's a good player. He belongs, and he's struggled with that in the past. He's always been a good player, but I think now playing Division I golf, and he's shown some great scores, some great tournaments. He truly believes that he is close to being a tournament champion and following in the footsteps of Alex Carpenter, and Ryan Beatty, his cohort, is right there with him too. So those two guys give us a nice 1-2 punch that I think ACU has seen in the past.
As a guy who played professionally as you did and played at a very high level collegiately there at Georgia Tech, speak for just a moment about that emergence, that development that you mentioned of Dylan's, because you can be good, you can be a good player, but it's a very different thing to be a great player and to make the mental leap, isn't it?
It's a huge leap. Clearly, that Dylan has shown some good scores in the past, but he'll have one good tournament, and then maybe you don't hear from him for a while. But now he's starting to put out week after week, both in qualifying and practice and in tournament play. And we've stressed that. I said, you guys have to be great here at home before you expect to be great at the tournament. You can't just flip a light switch and turn it on. So Dylan's doing that. So in qualifying, he and Ryan Beatty and the other guys have started to put up some numbers that are pleasing to me. And so therefore naturally take that to a tournament. It's a lot easier than to put those same scores on paper at the tournament. Dylan's starting to do that. He's providing great senior leadership for us.
Yeah, and just to give you some context, when you finish 11th or 17th, as we've said, we're talking about 75 or so players. So right, if you're finishing 11th, you're finish in the top 20% there roughly. You have a week or so off here, and then what?
We're going to Houston's tournament, October 12th and 13th, where we'll see a little bit more familiar confines being in Texas, but we're going to be going to a Bermuda grass golf course, which is going to provide some challenges, but we're going to be seeing the likes of Houston. We'll see Kansas again. We'll see Rice. We'll see Sam Houston. So we'll see some conference opponents, plus we'll also see some Big Five conference opponents too.
The fall schedule continues for the men's golf team. For Coach Tom Shaw, I'm Grant Boone for ACUsports.com, and go Wildcats.